So your stepson lived at your home between the ages of 19 or 20, and you took the decision to charge him rent. So why do that?
Well, he moved out when he was 16 to go to college, and they have apprenticeship schemes in France, which are to become a waiter to serve the tourist industry over here. And he moved. He wasn't sure what he wanted to do, if he did want to do that as a career, so he moved back in with us for a while. But my feeling was, and everyone will probably hate me for this, he's an adult now, and he had to contribute to the whole budget. My husband are both freelance. We don't have a regular income. But even if we did have a regular income, I would still charge him, Holly, because when you've got a child, when you've raised him, I've raised Antonio since he was a 10-year-old. I wanted him to go out in the world to be financially responsible, to understand each month that you've got this set amount of money and what you do with it really counts. And so for me, it was really important that when he wanted a TV for his bedroom, we sat down and worked out how he was going to pay for it, how he was going to, what kind of TV he wanted, and we put together a scheme of how he would pay us back. But that was part of a bigger financial package, really. And it worked really well. It meant that the year that he lived with us, he did what I've been taught by my own mum, which is with your savings, you save a third, you spend a third, and then the third is for your contribution to the household budget.
OK, all right. Well, so Shona, do you agree with that?
No, absolutely not. I have a 19-year-old who works full-time, and she is living at home, and I would never charge her rent. I think if the point is to get them standing on their own 2 feet as quickly as possible, it's counterproductive, because if they're paying you to live at home, then it's just going to take far longer for them to leave home.
Or she might think, oh, this is nice.
Well,
this
yes.
is lovely. I get all my food cooked for me. Everything's paid for.
That's not why I'm doing it, though. I actually feel very uncomfortable with the idea of financially profiting from my children. And I believe...
profiting, or are you just teaching them life's lessons?
I think home is home, and I think there should be one place in the world. We have to go out into the world and pay for everything else, and I think there should be one place in the world that you should be able to go to that is your safe place, and you can always be there, and you shouldn't have to pay to be there.
Samantha, there's one place in the world where you should feel safe.
My 15-year-old self would have absolutely agreed with Shona's sentiments there. But for me, my mum started charging me when I started working. I started working part-time when I was 15. I had a job in a bingo hall back then when they were still going in Birmingham, and I hated her for it. I thought I just couldn't stand the fact that she'd made me not only get a job, but put money into the kitty as well. And actually, I can see now as a 47 woman, it was the best thing she ever taught me how to do, because it meant that I was standing on my own 2 feet. I knew what I had each month. I knew if I wanted to buy something, what I'd have to set aside. And obviously the housing climate was different back then, but it meant that I was able to get on the ladder a lot earlier on because I was financially responsible.
Can I ask this question then? Is there a way of learning all of those life skills without it being a financial transaction? Can you not contribute to the running of the house in another way?
Well, that's what Flo does. That's how she contributes. It's the same as my other 3 children. I mean, Keith and I both, when we left home, we didn't have financial support from my parents. My parents divorced when I was 18, and I went off to London to work, and all through my 20s I didn't have a home or an anchor to go back to because the family house was sold and they went off to live with their prospective partners, and I didn't have that. And I think, you know, parenting doesn't end when your children are 18. You know, it's something that continues, and I feel almost at this transition period when they're moving from teenage into proper adulthood, they almost need you more then than they did when they were teenagers. And I feel that I would not be supporting, you know, that the alternative to Flo living at home is for her to be living elsewhere and paying extortionate rent, which I think would make her make bad decisions about what she's going to do with her future.
So she's how old now?
She's 19.
So when does it run out? When that home, that safe haven, that place to go back to?
Never.
At what point? If she's 25, 34,
yep.
42?
Bring it on. I want my children to come home when they're in their 30s, 40s. If they got divorced...
Not just come home, live
at home. I don't care. I think that's a wonderful thing. I mean, what else is there in life, really? If you can't do that for your children, then what's the point?
Final word, Samantha?
I think that you're mollycoddling your children, Shona, and you're setting yourself up for a very grim future, letting your children live like that with you.
All right, OK, well, that's what our guests say. Thank you both very much indeed. We've been asking you to vote in our poll all morning. So should parents charge their adult children rent? Over 31,000 votes have been cast so far, and 84% say yes, 16% say no.
There you go. You've been sending in your comments too. Diane Baker says we shouldn't be teaching our kids that they can expect to get everything in life for free. Everyone should pay their way in life.
Nicola says, I think we should let our kids enjoy themselves before they have bills and responsibilities. When you have kids, you have to support them and give them the best start in life.
Lisa says, I'm nearly 30 and I have a 2-year-old son. I live with my mum and I pay her rent. If I lived elsewhere, I'd have to pay rent. Just because I'm living at home, it doesn't mean that I'm entitled to stay there rent-free.
Mandy says, as long as your children become adults, they need to take on adult responsibilities. Not charging them for rent is not doing them any favours in the long run.